As I press record, right?
Yeah. Lie down.
Boudica.
In your bed.
Boudica lays down. Isn't that right? There will be no lying down.
All the way.
What are Boudica's pronouns?
Thug and life.
Bro, holy shit, Doyle has already offended everyone. Dude, you know the viewership on my channel, right?
No.
Like 90% of my channel is trans.
Cool. They're like, what is the dog's pronouns? It'll like thug and life.
Where the fuck are my... Are you cold, son?
No, I get excited.
Yeah.
I'm autistic.
What's the funniest joke you've ever heard? You don't have one. Okay, so...
The funniest joke I've ever heard.
So just establishing, like, Doyle doesn't believe in humor, everyone.
That is a lie.
Well, you don't have a funniest joke.
Oh, life is the funniest joke.
Okay. Already getting philosophical on us. We got the first... That's not even the first question. The first question is, do you want question set 1 or question set 2?
What's the difference?
It makes all the difference. Everything. I mean, life, it will never be the same. Your entire life has been leading up to this point.
This question.
And now it's your time to decide.
Okay.
Question set 1 or 2. This is it.
What time is it?
11.
11.
Yeah.
Set 1.
Set 1. Oh, I see what you did there. Wait, but there's 2 11s.
Ooh. Now you gotta figure out what's on there.
What's the last picture you took on your phone?
What is the last picture?
Uh-oh. He's like, oh.
Where? Last picture I took on this phone. There's a picture of a set of batteries I found in the electronics department that said for rectal use only on them.
Okay. And then there's an illustration of some, what are those, hamburger buns.
Shorts.
Yeah.
They're a pair of booty shorts. For some reason, for rectal use only brings to the idea that you need to have Daisy Dukes.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah, I remember that scene in Brokeback Mountain. Do you have any, like, special voices you do? Like, do you have any, like, imitations you can do that you're good at? Or voices? Accents? You know,
Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man!
Is that Irish?
That was Gingy from Shrek.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, leave me!
So you're... Oh my god. Where he's already trauma dumping. Okay, so like you get a feel for like how these kind of questions go, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
like,
random.
Yeah, it's just kind of random. So like what are you most ashamed of, like, as a human being? Just like, what is the worst thing you've ever done? Like, just like a sin, you know? Like the greatest sin you've ever committed against either like mankind or, you know, anything like that.
That's a deep, dark one right there.
But it's just random. It's XD random.
That's a pretty random.
Listen, you fucking picked question set 1.
I did pick question set 1. Maybe picking question set 1 was my worst decision.
What do you want? You want to omit this one? You get 2 skips.
I got engaged to a woman when I didn't want to marry her.
Oh, okay. That's pretty lame. Like, honestly, you haven't even like or anything.
I haven't.
I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say the K word on YouTube.
I don't think I can. Yeah, you're right. I did not unalive a man.
Yeah, we have to use unalive. You didn't Boudica, man. Isn't Boudica's name Latin for like flipping the off switch on, you know?
No.
Oh.
Because the Latinization of Buthog, which is the Iceni queen who fought against Rome and brutally got massacred.
So you're like anti-Roman?
Well, I don't adhere to the Roman astrology, that's for sure.
Yeah, like Jupiter,
Yeah.
Mars, and like you have fucking like Aries. Like, what a dumbass. It's obviously
And the Greeks did it better. They named them better. The only thing I'll give the Romans is Hercules is a better name than Heracles.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But other than that, the Greeks win out every time.
Dude, the Heracles constellation like doesn't make any sense. Like, do you know the constellation? Like the shape
I don't
of it?
adhere to Latin astrology, so no.
But that's the Greek astrology. Fuck asshole. Okay. What clique were you in high school?
The Island of Misfit Toys. That's actually what we called our lunch table.
What? Did you like say grace before you had lunch? Like you were one of the like Christian kids?
No.
It sounds like.
No, we were just the Island of Misfit Toys. Like we were all social butterflies.
Yeah.
Like none of us. We were just like we didn't quite fit in any little group neatly. So and we all sat together and they're like, "Well, what are you guys?" I'm like, "Oh, we're the leftovers."
That's funny. That's like what everyone who I interview says. You know, it's you're just like everyone else. You know.
No. We had one girl.
Fucking normie.
In our friend group. She did dog shows, but also wanted to be emo.
Okay. So she like dressed up her dogs like Elvis.
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay.
Yeah, we had that, and there was one girl. She was like the most plain individual I've ever met. And then there was this guy. He was like the quirky kid who never like. He's the kid who always wore the same hoodie.
Yeah.
and like he never quite got what was going on. He was a great guy. Me and him, we had so many fun adventures. I loved. What was it? There was this one girl I dated, and after we broke up, she went after him, and like it was the following New Year's Eve. There was this one friend who we go to a party every year for New Year's Eve.
Stacy.
And we're all playing Truth or Dare, and someone asked, you know, why did you break up with Doyle? And they were like, well, you know, I was considering whether or not I was a lesbian. And I figured if I could be with a man, it would be, you know, the other guy. And the other guy goes, hold up. You are curious? And you had a boyfriend you knew had experience. But you went after the guy who's barely touched a boob?
Yeah.
And he's like, no wonder you're lesbian.
Was that like his dare to just like out his friend?
Well, no,
but he just like take that upon himself.
No, like he she was just like, yeah, I'm not like her the thing she had to tell was why did she break up with me? And he was like, and she gave that reason, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like what?
Okay, Doyle.
He was offended for me.
Have you ever given someone a fake name? I mean, you told me that your name was Doyle, but like other than that,
like someone asks and I just give them a name so they leave me the fuck alone.
No, just like for any reason.
Oh,
it could just be like your sadistic nature.
There was a whole period where me and this guy in middle school had beef. And anytime I would get in trouble, they'd ask what my name is, and I'd just give them his. Like if I was, the way that our middle school and the way that our middle school and our junior high were set up, right? There were teachers that never even knew your name, let alone what you looked like. And if they didn't teach you and the other person, you could always just say that you were them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, write a report with their name on it.
Wow. Yeah, so it is really just sadistic nature coming out. It's cruelty. Just like pure unadulterated cruelty.
I think that the thing about Josh was Josh brought a lot of the negativity that he got on himself. Because it was one of those things where everyone told him, like, dude, you need to stop. The issue is you keep pushing people past their limit.
Yeah.
So then they're mean to you because they're like, they don't want to deal with you from the get-go because you just keep going. It was like he found pleasure in being the most annoying person in the room. And then wanted to whine about the fact that other people didn't like him.
So say like Josh Bowers is listening to this right now.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to him?
You had a glow up. Good for you.
Did he deserve it?
He had things rough when we were kids, and I think he deserves good things in his life. I wish nothing but the best for him. However, I won't forgive him for the detention I got.
Yeah.
Legit. This guy was making fun of him, right? And they tried to get me involved, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I looked at him, I'm not picking on the little guy. Like, stop, I'm not picking on him. And at the time, Josh was so much short than everybody else. Like, he was the shortest guy in the grade. So he got all angry because I called him the little guy.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were just talking about, like, the one who was getting picked on. I didn't mean, like, literally. The little guy.
So the one that's getting picked on, I'm like, hey, I don't want to pick on him. And he took that as me making fun of him. He starts punching me in the stomach, and I just stood there looking down at him. Like,
oh my god.
Because he's not really doing any damage. He's not really pushing me back. I'm just standing there taking it like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The teacher grabs him by the back of his shirt and pulls him away. Sends him to the office, right? And I go into class, and about 30 minutes later, we get a page from the office telling me to go down there. I go down there. I go in the vice principal's office. And she says, did you say that he was little? I was like, kind of? And her response was, okay, lunch detention. And I was like, you're not even going to ask me what happened? She's like, no. And I went, no wonder half the school doesn't like you. And I walked away.
Holy shrimp, dude.
Bruh. I got in trouble because I got into the lunch detention, and the teacher who was running it looks at me and goes, wait, you're never in here. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what did you do? I said, I used the word little.
Hey, yeah, that's tough. Bro, you can't be saying that in Catholic school. You gotta know that. For those in the audience, those in the nosebleeds, all of you, by the way, Doyle is 6'4". So, you know. That's what it says on your Tinder profile, right? 6'4".
What the fuck?
Right?
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm about as 6'4" as you are 3'2".
Yeah. For those that in the audience, I'm 5'7".
I am shorter than him.
Are you prepared for the apocalypse?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm waiting for it. My favorite quote from Cabin in the Woods is that society's already cracked. We just keep filling it in, and we're too chicken shit to let it fall apart.
Huh. What is that? What is that from?
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
Paraphrased. It's not exactly what he says, but...
What is that? Is it a book?
It's a horror movie made by... what was his name? Josh Whedon.
Josh Whedon.
Yeah.
Did you star in it?
No. I'm not that famous.
Did you collaborate with it at all?
Cabin in the Woods was... it's the guy who made Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is that like the
Firefly?
Dumb and Dumber?
Serenity? Dollhouse?
Don't ring a bell.
One of the Avengers movies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys who did the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Cabin in the Woods, it's about these guys go out to a cabin in the woods, and it turns out that they're being used to be... The government's trying to sacrifice them to gods. Yeah.
Roman gods?
It's not specified. It's very... The way that the gods are described within the movie...
It's like Tony
Stark.
Stark.
Very Lovecraftian. Like, they're not... It's very foreboding, and you don't know what it is.
Yeah. Doyle's got to take any opportunity to mention that he reads Lovecraft, like any. It's just got to shoehorn that. Very Lovecraftian. Oh yes, my Lovecraft, my novels. Yes, the Dantes.
Yes, I am so pretentious. I let people know I've read H.P. Lovecraft and John Stuart Mills.
We're sitting in your room right now, and you have like the entire like Victorian like architecture going on in your bed frame right here. Yeah. Very The Crow, you know.
Very the...
Knocking on my chamber door. Knocking on my bed frame.
I hate Edgar. Honestly. You ever heard it? Was it the House of...
The Rising Sun?
No. It's that famous Edgar Allan Poe poem. Or no, short story where it's like the House of...
Cards?
No. The House of... fuck.
The Raven?
No. I can't even remember. Like the House of Montague or something like that.
Deftones? Deftones Goth GF?
Deftones Goth GF. If she's listening to Deftones, I don't know if it's gonna work out.
Oh, whoa. Are you saying you're not on board with like the diagnosis? It's kind of fricked up, Doyle.
Well, you know, it's like the Deftones, they don't do it for me. They don't do it for me.
Are you searching something?
Yeah. I gotta figure out what the poem was. The House of something.
The House of Poe. Edgar's house. Poe
The
Island.
House of Usher.
Usher.
Yes, The House of Usher. That's the one Edgar Allan Poe story I've never been able to finish. I've tried to listen to it, read it, every time I fall asleep.
What about the like Tattletale Heart?
Tattletale Heart?
Yeah.
I finished that one.
Yeah.
Honestly, there was a...
The Pendulum?
Yeah, that's another good one. Honestly, the only reason I passed one of my English tests in high school was because I watched Elvira's Haunted Hills. And that's basically just ripping off a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe stories.
Yeah. Classic. Have you ever fallen asleep sitting down or standing?
Several times.
Standing?
One time.
One time? How'd that go?
My best friend at the time caught me before my head hit the counter.
What? Or where were you, like...
I had just gotten
we were on the roof climbing scaffolding.
I was in my apartment, and I had just gotten done with a 16-hour shift at work, and probably hadn't slept since the day before that. If I remember correctly. And yeah, I was just like standing there, and next thing I know, he's catching me before I hit the counter.
It's like 7 p.m. by the way, guys, and Doyle is like, "Yeah, I don't know. I got to get to sleep soon." Like looking at me. Listen, I'm the interviewer, okay? Like, you want to question this?
While we're
actually,
at it, I'm not even a person. I'm just a dog.
Yeah,
You're talking to a dog, right?
It's true. Boudica is the human. He's the owner. So, Doyle, here's a challenge. Here's something. See, this is what makes my interviews special is they're interactive. Okay? You don't get this with any other interviewers, all right? Okay. Ask me a question.
Where were you June 6, 1989?
I plead the fifth.
I thought
so. Classic gets him every time. Is there anything in your wallet you don't actually need?
Let's find out.
You don't need that 20, right? Like
what? Oh, you mean the $700 bill? No, I need everything that's in here. But also, look how bare bones that is.
Damn. You know, they say, Hank Hill once said you can tell a lot by a person by the, unnecessary items in their wallet. End quote.
He also said, that boy ain't right.
Okay. Doyle, stop.
What does the dog do?
If you ever, like, had a friend, what would you do with them? Like, what would you all do together?
What do me and my friends do?
Yeah.
We jam. We watch movies. We make movies.
Well, is it like hey, girl, you want to come over to my place and jam? Or like a...
I haven't met a woman that can play an instrument that wants to come back to my place. But,
oh, shots fired at women! Shots fired, all you women out there.
Every
Be careful what you say here.
Every female musician I've met has
it's just a talentless
not
hack.
been interested in me. It is usually the one.
It's usually the dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the dudes.
What do you hate about being interviewed?
Not knowing the questions ahead of hand.
Well, you could have just asked, like...
I could have.
Like, bro, you're really... Okay, so it's my fault, is what you're saying. Like, I'm the problem.
The same thing happened when I did a documentary with one of my buddies. And, like, there's been other interviews I've done for other stuff where it's just like I didn't know what the question was ahead of time, and it's like, well, now I'm stuck thinking about the answer when I could have just gotten a list of questions ahead of time and just thought about them so that I could at least because I feel like that's what goes on like actual talk shows, is those people know what those questions are before they get out there. Prince, for example, I don't think there was one interview where he didn't know all the questions. And after that, he made it one of the requirements for him to do an interview.
Yeah. Huh. So, well then, why should I hire you?
Because you're hiring.
I mean, you got a point. You got a point.
You need me and I need you. Problem solved.
He's got a point, though, guys. Is your room a mess at this moment?
No. It's pretty clean.
FYI, guys. He's telling the truth. See, because, like, every other time I've, like, chipped in, it's been a lie. So, like, now they're just going to expect this one to be a lie. Like, I'm just, like, playing it. Like, it's ironic, Yeah.
How does this turn into a YouTube video?
What?
How does this turn into a YouTube video?
It's just like a podcast.
Oh, so there's no visuals?
Well, there's, like birds and stuff in the background. You just take, like, one of those live 24-hour cams and just throw it in the background with, like, fractal, like, trippy stoner HD visuals, 4K, fractal image.
Sounds like...
To get high, too.
Yo, that sounds like you could always get into animation eventually.
I do have some animations on the channel.
Yeah.
I already do. They're stop motion, very stop motion.
Yeah, you could do, like, a whole interview where you're just playing around with stop motion stuff.
I'll just be
playing.
Well, right now I just play around while it's playing. Yeah. It's just playing around. All right, I'm just asking this to the people in the room, so they're going to answer this about you. So, is Doyle better at talking or listening? Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's in post. I'm editing them in post, like,
I get that.
Yeah.
It's funny to be sitting here.
Yeah, it's just us two. And Boudica.
The dog's like, what is this man doing? What is this guy doing? What is this little guy doing?
Why do you have such bad stage fright?
Me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I have stage fright. I think my biggest issue when it comes to getting on stage is just the fact that it's...
like you sweat a lot?
No, not even that.
Like you have really bad swamp ass?
I'd say the worst thing about getting up on stage is just worrying about... I always worry about the rest of the band when I get on stage. Right? Because I assume I'm going to mess things up, but a lot of the times... I've been in a lot of groups where I don't know if they're going to get through the set list just because of past history regarding inebriance with each and every member. That there was one gig where we were performing in the basement of this bar, and I went upstairs and I grabbed. It was like literally 5 minutes before the show. I go upstairs, I buy one Guinness, I down it, I go downstairs, and I walk over to the guys and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And they answered in a really weird way. I'm like, "Are you guys high right now?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
God damn it. I kid you not. This is how the night went. We got through a song and a half.
Did you get through Freebird?
No, we didn't even do Freebird.
That was a bad night then. That was a bad night.
We got through a song and a half. Then the lead singer and lead guitarist were like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna go, acoustic." So then it was just him playing his guitar and singing. He couldn't even he could barely get through the next song that he wanted to do. Ended the show, everybody went upstairs and he just moped in the basement for like the rest of the night.
What? Bro.
I've had many situations like that with various bands.
Oh man.
And so it's just like I'm worried that things aren't gonna go to plan, but I'm also worried that we're not even gonna finish the set list.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm not even worried. I could mess up the entire time we're playing, but I'd be happy if we got. Everyone could be performing terribly, and I'd be happy as long as we got through the set list.
They wouldn't actually know. No one in the audience would know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, that's not as bad as fear of public indecency or something like that. As long as nothing is flopping around on stage, then it's not that bad. Right?
Dignity is.
Yeah, you got a point.
I was in a gothcore band for a little while.
Yeah.
And I remember there was just a day we were playing and
it just flopped out.
It just kind of clicked in my head, hey, what the fuck am I doing? Because I realized I spent more time doing my bandmates' makeup than I was playing my instrument.
Huh.
And I literally right after the show I quit.
Yeah. Checks out. What's your screen time analytics? We know you're on that tic-tac 17 hours a day.
I have
it's gonna be 23 hours.
I had a TikTok for a week. I posted 3 videos. I got on the app maybe 5 times and then said, "This is dumb." And I just deleted it.
You don't subscribe to the brain rot? You don't doom scroll for hours on hours and on hours?
No, I think that's the one thing that a lot of my friends find weird about me is that I'm constantly trying to seek stimuli. I'm not looking for the short dopamine bursts that TikTok gives you. I'm over here I want intellectual stimuli. I want to be fully stimulated in some capacity. I can't just sit there and scroll through, people dancing. Right? I would much rather watch a video on how does a black hole eat another black hole or something. Actually learn something.
That's why you're doing this interview right now, because that this is intellectual right here.
No, I did it with you.
Okay, yeah. We all know the truth. How many drinks would you need to sing at a karaoke night?
None.
None?
None. I could sing at a karaoke night any night.
Any night?
Yeah.
Alright, well, sing.
Right now?
Well, it's different. It's different if I haven't had a drink. It's for an interview. I can't sing for interviews. Yeah, okay. What is this? Your 3rd interview this week?
Fine, I'll do it. Well, my buckle makes impressions on the inside of her thigh. There are little feathered Indians where we tussle through the night. If I'd known she was religious, then I would have came stoned to the house of such an angel, too fucked up to get back home. Looking over West Virginia, smoking spirits on the roof.
Oh, shit.
She asked, ain't anybody told you?
Is it recording?
Is it?
Oh no, I think it cut out. Your singing was too low. No, it's still going.
Oh, okay. It's still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
That's funny.
See, it was a joke, like it was funny. Yeah. Have you ever had short hair?
Yeah, right now.
What about long hair?
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
Why?
Little do you guys know, I got a mullet.
That's
No.
both short and
I
long.
wish I had a mullet. I wish I could pull off a mullet.
Will you wear wigs?
Nah, I want like a Theo Von mullet if I got a mullet.
Would you wear a wig?
A wig?
Yeah.
I've worn wigs before several times.
When?
When I used to do drag, I wore. My girlfriends would make me wear wigs. So the last time I wore a wig was for a costume. Which costume was it? Oh, Shaggy Rogers.
Yeah.
I wore a wig to be Shaggy Rogers.
Yeah. Nice. So, where was I at? Should we teach Shakespeare in school? The correct answer is no, by the way.
Not Romeo and Juliet, that's for sure. I'll say this. One thing that I find very funny is that when I was in school, my American English class, my first one I ever took, had Shakespeare in it. And I remember standing there in the class, looking at the teacher. Why are we studying Shakespeare? He's British, not American. Also, that's even more confusing. Why the fuck do we have an American flag with Shakespeare on it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was American. You know that, right?
No.
Like, Jesus Christ was white, dude.
While we're at it, we'll put a
Pocahontas was white. Like, she was white.
we're just gonna, at that rate, how about we just put an Algerian flag behind Napoleon?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
Give
really.
him all the credit.
Yeah. Do you have recurring dreams?
Yes, I do have recurring dreams.
Okay, Martin Luther.
The dream.
I had a dream.
The dream's actually no. I don't like the dream that I get. It's almost at this point. It's just shy of a nightmare. It's
my life.
It's a
nightmare.
It's a weird dream because I'm in the dream. I'm working at a factory or whatever, and I get off work, and I drive home. I get home. I come through the door, and
you sit down, and you have to do an interview.
Well, one of my exes is in the kitchen cooking, and she has a child on her hip, and she says the dinner's almost ready, and I go into the bathroom, I wash my hands, I come back into the dining room, and the kid walks over and asks me to pick him up. I pick him up, and the kid has her eyes, and every time I wake up crying. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Yeah.
But I keep having the same dream.
Huh. Yeah, Freud would definitely Freud would go off on that, dude. It's probably something to do with your mom. That's probably what Freud would say.
It's because you want to eat tea with your mother.
Yeah. Would you like to be famous?
Well,
I mean, you agreed to be on this interview, so.
I think my answer now is the same as it would have been 13 years ago, and I don't care. I'd have to put value in strangers liking me. Yeah. I really don't care.
Wow.
I got my circle. I got my tribe, and that's kind of all I care about. Like, if I were to get big and famous, people are like, "Oh, this guy," and someone was just like, "Hey, hi, hey, can I sign sign my stuff?" Like, if someone got excited because they met me because I'm famous, I'd just be like, "Okay, here's your stuff." But I'd be like, "This is I'm not gonna act like I'm above it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is unnecessary. Like, I'm just a guy. I'm just a little guy."
What about the perks though? Because like whenever you go to the bar, just as
I don't drink,
Dr.
so,
Doyle,
I don't drink, so who cares? I'm not going to a bar.
Oh my god.
Like,
yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm sober now. I don't drink anymore. So
Sober now for 3 whole months.
Is it 3 whole months now?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's been 3 months.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, son. What were you doing when you were 26?
When I was 26?
Yeah.
That was what? 20... What year was that? Ooh. At that time, I was working at a jewelry company. And I was dating probably my second worst ex.
Yeah. The 7th evil ex, or...
No, the second.
The second?
The second worst ex. And that would have been the first time I dated her. Or the second. Are you talking 26 from, like, right now?
Yeah.
When you were
26 years old.
Like, the whole year, or just today?
Yeah, just like while you were 26.
Oh, yeah, so I would have been... I dated my second worst ex twice in that year. I was dating I worked at that jewelry company, and then I got a job at a thrift store.
For those of you in the audience, Doyle is currently 31.
I'm not 31 yet.
It's about time. You better start having kids, like popping them out soon. Your time's about up,
I
pal.
can't have kids. So.
Okay, it's 2024. It's about to be 2025. You can have kids, Doyle.
No,
No. Okay. Is your room a mess at this moment?
No.
No?
No, it's not a mess. Why are you asking me that again? What did you do? What are you planning?
Listen, I'm running the interview, okay? You don't ask the questions here.
Yeah.
I ask the questions here, bitch.
How many people are going to end up watching this?
Oh, probably like 6. I don't know. Usually they click
This
off.
is for all 6 of your followers?
Usually they click off about like from 30 seconds to 2 minutes into the video. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They actually give you that level of analytics?
Well, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
At least like on the one I did with like PJ.
We should get you an interview with Steven.
Steven? You talking about Janice.click?
Yeah, Janice.click. We should get you an interview with Janice.
Where's he even at?
Right now he's probably at home with his kids. He's probably asleep right now.
He's downstairs in the dungeon.
Yeah, he's downstairs in my basement eating chips. I don't know why he does that. He just breaks in and eats chips in my basement. But
Okay. Are you single?
no, I have a girlfriend.
You hear that, everyone? He's on the market.
No,
Anyone out there? Hey, you want his... What do you have? Like Twitter, right?
do I have a Twitter?
OnlyFans?
No, I don't have an OnlyFans.
No?
Yeah.
Damn. What's the optimal sibling to be? Middle to oldest to youngest?
That all kind of depends on how you want to look at it. And it also depends on the parents. In my household, when I was growing up, I wouldn't have changed my position in the household in any capacity. At least one of my siblings is extremely messed up just because of the way that they handled that situation. And it's one thing I can say is, the advice to any parent is, don't baby your kids. Don't baby your kids.
Poor Boudica.
If your kid's 13 and still acting 8 because you treat them like an 8-year-old, not because they have something causing them to act that way.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Some kids just like their pocket monsters and stuff.
I don't have an issue with kids liking pocket monsters. It's when the kids like it's when the kid still likes pocket monsters and acts like
a Charizard.
And throws a temper tantrum when they can't play their Pokemon.
Oh, I see.
Like there's a big difference between enjoying something that is meant for a younger age group. That's perfectly fine. But if you're gonna act like the people of that age group, there's a problem.
You have to be above them. Exactly. Yeah, he agrees.
Wait.
Okay. If there was a professional imposter posing as you, would your spouse be able to tell who is the real you? Professional Doyle. Imposter. It's like there's an imposter among us.
I think most people would tell real quick that it wasn't me.
Really?
Yeah.
What's like something they could ask to find out? Like the secret formula, you know?
Oh, they could literally ask any random question about my childhood.
Oh, what's like your darkest...
or even better yet, ask me my opinion on one random thing. And if my answer doesn't sound stupid neutral or extremely aggressive about it, if I don't have like a gun ho, nah, forget that. Or my personal favorite, you could just be like, I've prepared you this meal. Try the corn. And it's really hominy, I'll kill you. If I don't try to kill you, then it's not me.
Oh, that checks out. So, if you're Scooby-Doo, who's your Shaggy?
Janice.click.
Janice.click. What about if you're Shaggy, who's your Scooby-Doo?
Ooh, that's rough. My Scooby-Doo. If I'm Shaggy, who's my Scooby-Doo? It's been a long time since I've had
No one's riding in your little biker co-pilot seat? Your little, like...
No, not really.
What are those called?
No one you would call my Scooby-Doo. Like,
It can be like Hatsune Miku, if that's like, you know...
You know what? I'll just say my
Boudica?
I'll say Boudica. My dog. My dog is my Scooby-Doo.
Wow, that's really deep.
Oh, look at that thug over there. She over here in my bed like she's allowed to be up there. Yeah. I told you to go to your bed, not mine.
Doyle, what is the appropriate age to date? When are you old enough to date?
Ooh, that's a rough one.
Because, like, you had your first, like, GF when you were in, like, kindergarten, right? Or was it preschool?
What the hell?
Like, you've been getting hosed for a long time.
What?
Like, back in the day, since, like, you had, you know, the most crayons on the block.
I definitely did not have the most crayons on the block. I grew up poor.
Well, at least you weren't, like...
I was lucky to have crayons.
like, rubbing your boogers on the crayons. Like, yeah, Doyle was like, we had to draw with rocks on our paper.
Honestly...
We had to color picture with stones.
From what I can recall when I was a kid, and from the stuff I can recall from when I was a substitute teacher, I really think a lot of parents shouldn't let their kids date till they're like 15, 16 years old. Because, and honestly... and you know, like, that's not exactly what I did as a kid, but the thing is, they're gonna do it anyway. You know, they're gonna try and date regardless of what age you pick. So it's more important that you teach your kids to be responsible.
Responsibility sounds kind of
like,
overrated.
Who cares if you're at the end of the day? Like, who cares if your kid started dating at 14 or 18? If the 14-year-old's responsible, right, and you know isn't putting themselves in stupid situations, whatnot, you know, you can expect that when they say they're going to the mall, they're just going to be at the mall. They're going to come right home afterwards. Who cares about that? But you got like your 18-year-old kid. Yeah, they're an adult, but they're making stupid decisions every left and right. Like you're having to come pick them up from you know, some random street at 3 a.m. because the guy that they, you know, the guy or the gal that they decided to go on a date with just like dumped them off there.
Yeah.
It's, you know, if you're not responsible with yourself, then you really shouldn't be dating because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable situation. And being able to be responsible for yourself and is a skill that is important in that scenario, because if you're not, that's how you can get hurt. And, you know, physically, emotionally, and, you know, it's not a good situation to be in. I think a lot of people who struggle with dating, it starts with the fact that they started dating before they knew how to be responsible for themselves. Right? And it's, how can you have expectations for how people should treat you when you don't have when you don't even know how to treat yourself, you know?
Yeah. So the follow-up to this one is, when is the appropriate age to get married?
Religiously or legally? Those are two different things.
Like wedding.
Yeah. So, like, in my opinion, religious weddings can happen at any point in your life that you seem that it's necessary, right? But legal marriage, don't do that unless you genuinely want to. And do it, and if you're doing it, make sure you're doing it for financial reasons.
So it's like 32 years old.
Yeah, because the thing is, legal marriage, you as a young person, let's say you get married at 20, and you get legally married to someone at 20, you can really screw yourself in the long run. So let's say you pick a deadbeat partner, and you don't realize that they're a deadbeat until, 15 years later, when you're making, $100K a year, or whatever. And, they've been a deadbeat the whole time. Well, you find out they're cheating on you or whatever, you decide you no longer want that, you both realize that, or, it's just not working out. It's time, you guys go to get a divorce. Well, now they're getting half your money, and they didn't work with you to build that up, legal marriage is a risk for anybody. And honestly, it doesn't have in my opinion, legal marriage doesn't have the legal or financial benefits that it used to. And so it's kind of redundant, because everything that I can do married, I can do unmarried. There's ways to do all those things now.
Nothing can stop you from buying a 12-pack of PBR coming home.
But honestly, if I were to say it, if you're gonna get married, wait till your 30s. I think a lot of people. I think the biggest, one of the quotes from Donald Glover that I like the most is that once you hit 30, that's pretty much who you're going to be for the rest of your life. You might change a little bit, but for the most part, that's you, right? So it's probably best to wait until your 30s to get married, because you haven't quite discovered yourself yet until your 30s on that logic. And it's better, to have figured out who you are and then try and build a life with someone than to have two people who don't know who the hell they are trying to work it out, and they get all these feelings and emotions involved with each other, and it turns out, in the long run, it was never going to work out, because, they were never truly compatible, but they didn't know that because they didn't quite understand themselves.
Damn. Deep and rich understanding. We're discovering here. I was
We're
like,
discovering I'm full of shit.
wow. That's what happens whenever you leave or read Lovecraft, guys.
That's probably more the Anne Rice.
Yeah. Okay, Doyle. So, you can get any meal in the world. What's your favorite meal? Nicotine?
My favorite meal. Oh. That's a different.
It's got to be something good. It's got to be something good.
My favorite meal. I like food so much, though.
Maybe like peanut butter and jelly. Corn dog. Cheese.
Jerk chicken over red beans and rice with a side of collard greens and mac and cheese and another side of potato salad.
You can have that, Doyle, but you have to sucker punch an old lady in the face to get it.
I do it every time. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I hate boomers. I genuinely hate boomers.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
They have been running this country. They have been complaining. I am tired of this crap. Like, first off, they're why I believe there needs to be an age. There's an age minimum to be in office, right? For the presidency, there's an age. Like, there's a minimum age to get into office.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a maximum age for holding office.
Mm.
I'm of the opinion you shouldn't be able to hold office after age 65. Right? Because nothing you're doing in government, will you live long enough to see the impact of that? Like, a fucking having, I don't care who it is. You got somebody who's like 78 years old and they run for office, they get elected, okay? Even if they live through their entire term, right? They're not gonna see the long-term implications of their decisions while they're in office. So why should they give a fuck? Like, they're only gonna do what's best for them. And the sad part is, if they only got a decade left or less, well, now we have, the future generations have to live with the decision of somebody who was serving themselves for 2 years, so that they could have it better for 2 more years. Like,
this is true.
Fuck that.
This is true. It's definitely.
Plus, boomers are just
dumb.
They're so
they're dumb.
No, like when I worked at the thrift store, okay, there was one big difference between boomers and Gen Z when they came into the thrift store. Right? I'm not even going to talk about Gen X or millennials. Just the boomers and Gen
Nobody
Z.
cares about them.
Right? Boomers would ask permission to do something. You would tell them no, and they'd do it anyway. Right? Like, they'd be like, hey, can I test this lamp or this hot plate? And I'd be like, we test all products before we put them on the sales floor. That is unnecessary. No, you cannot do that. And I had ladies do that anyway. The little old ladies, they do it anyway. I remember one time, this lady was checking out. I went to she handed me this hot plate. I grabbed it. I looked at her and said, "You tested it out, didn't you?" And she's like, "How did you know?" I was like, "'Cause it's burning me." And I threw it across the room. And
it shows you, Margaret. Yeah.
Well, my manager came out, and the old lady started complaining. And my manager's like, "No, you didn't. You know you're not supposed to test them out. You burned him. You're lucky he didn't throw it at you."
Wow, that's kind of rare. You find a manager that does that, man. Wow,
It was an alright time.
that's cool. What about Gen Z? What did Gen Z do?
Well, Gen Z, I preferred when Gen Z came in because they'd go.
They wouldn't ask. They would just do it.
They would just go do the thing that they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
But then once they get caught, and you tell them, you call them out on it, like, hey, cut it out. They cut it out. Right? I would. And the thing is that is way less disrespectful than what the boomers are doing. Because they're like. Because they can at least pretend like they didn't know that was the rule. Right?
Ask forgiveness, not permission.
Like you can get exactly. You can ask for forgiveness and not permission because at least you can get at least if someone's doing something they're not supposed to and they didn't ask before they did it, you at least know there's a chance that they didn't know that they weren't supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. These fucking boomers though, they know they're not supposed to be doing the shit that they're doing. And they're doing it anyway, and it's like if there's one trait, one quality I hate people to have is it's entitlement. Like as a bartender, entitled customers piss me off more than anything else. I would much rather have a crappy guy who yells at me because he's drunk and tips me nothing than an entitled customer any day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I usually yell at you and don't tip. Whenever I'm there.
Yeah, but you also don't buy any drinks either.
Got a water.
You don't pay for your water.
You're right.
Pay for your water.
You're right. Works every time. Works every time. That's how you get them, folks. Who would be a good person to interview? I know you're going to...
Janice.click.
Janice.click?
I think that would be very helpful for your channel, honestly.
Really?
Because you could get him to advertise it on his stuff. He has a bunch of followers.
A little bit of a collab action.
Yeah, so then his followers start checking out your stuff.
You think our fan bases would, mesh well?
Probably. With the way this interview is going, it reminds me a lot of how we produce our movies. If you were, if you were to watch Shrek Crack or Fish Piss or Tent Burner, you get a similar vibe in my opinion, at least. I'd say this interview is the way your interview style is.
Yeah.
Is a very similar vibe to those movies.
Yeah. So I have a lot of Swifties in my audience, just.
Oh well, then you shouldn't have interviewed me.
Wait, you're not a Swiftie? What?
I'm not impressed. I love that meme.
You don't like the hive mentality, the mob mentality, the hive mind, Taylor Swift?
She hasn't been that great since she switched to pop.
Dude, she controls people's minds. Is that not impressive?
That's because
she literally has mind control.
Here's the thing.
That's Lovecraftian.
A lot of the
she's an eldritch being.
People who were her fans, right? They were conditioned to be her fans. Let's be honest. All of her music between 2008 and 2014 was obviously targeted towards children.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Shake It Off. Okay, I guarantee you that if there was a way to actually collect the data on who was actually listening to Shake It Off, it was probably parents playing it for their daughters.
Yeah, going into JCPenney's Justice,
Right, it's not... And so, it's... These kids have had Taylor Swift their entire life. And she's clearly been shifting how she caters. I'm not going to say that she's not intelligent and that she's not a good businesswoman, right? But musically speaking, she hasn't really shown me anything impressive in a while. And on top of that, this most recent album that she released, it sounds a lot like the rest of her old shit, just a little bit more folksy.
You didn't like Fiend?
Huh?
You didn't like Fiend?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know it was called Fiend. I remember having to stock the album on the shelves.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! Oh God.
Picture of, was it her lying in a bed?
Well, no, I don't even know, dude.
Oh no, it's I listened to a few of it, and it was just have you not learned any lessons over the last 10 years? Because she's literally whining about basically the same situations she was when she was a teenager. If I had to pick between listening to Adele versus Taylor Swift, because everyone's always comparing the two, Right, because it's like, oh, all they do is write about their exes. Okay. Adele writes music that sounds like she's in her 30s.
Yeah.
Right? She's like the kind, like, someone I used to know, like, that sounds like someone in their 30s who's actually grown up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And can acknowledge what they did wrong, acknowledge that they want the person to, be whatever. Whereas, like, Taylor Swift, this latest album, it's literally, her viewpoint does not seem to have changed at all. She's still in the mindset of a teenager. Like, she's still basically being a child. It's like, grow the fuck up.
Jeez, Taylor. Yeah, she's clearly not ready to get married. Are you the main character?
Am I the main character of what? I mean, everyone's the main character of their life, I guess.
Of the universe.
Yeah. Main character of the universe?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you exist in, right? Is the universe. Unless you're, like, in the multiverse.
I think the only thing I can say on that one is one time my boss told me that he's pretty sure I'm not an NPC. Like, the things that you do in your free time, there's no way an NPC would do that.
Bro.
Like, you're the one that, if I were to be like, I'm not in a simulation, I'd look at you, man.
That's a compliment, dude. That's a compliment. That's a really good compliment. Damn.
I've gotten some pretty weird, good compliments at work before.
Do any other ones come to mind?
One of my coworkers, remember that whole thing that went viral a few months back where it was like, if you had to be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear, which one would you pick?
Oh, yeah.
One of my friends at work, she goes, if I picked the man, it'd be you. And I was just like, aw. I think that's sweet.
Yeah. It's like, it's not
I'm
that.
not the bear.
Yeah,
so
he's not like
pick
as
me
bad
over
as
the
it.
bear.
I guess.
I was like, oh, let's go. A win's a win.
Right.
Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Thanks. Maybe. How do I calculate the hypotenuse of a triangle?
The hypotenuse of now? It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
No, dumbass. It's y equals mx plus b.
Is that it? I wouldn't know.
No, I'm fucking with you. It is what you said. Okay, Doyle.
Too high to know.
If you were a man, would you always have your shirt off?
I'm a dog. I never wear a shirt.
Damn, he's got a point. What's the female equivalent of a man being able to, like, go around without a shirt on? Like going to the gas station without a shirt on and pumping your gas, like mowing your lawn without a shirt on. What's the equivalent of that? Or female?
Well, what's really weird about the whole men being able to wear their shirts up and not have to wear their shirts?
What?
They actually had to fight for that in like the 20s to the 30s.
What?
Well, yeah, like that was a thing. Like they were like the bathing. Like if you look at older bathing suits, the reason that the men are like wearing those like one pieces, like they actually had to like protest and whatnot to like be able to not have to wear shirts when they go to the beach.
What?
Yeah, this thing is like it being appropriate for men to not wear their shirts is less than 100 years.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, at least in American culture.
What?
But I think maybe the equivalent would be Daisy Dukes. I don't know.
I don't know what those are.
The denim shorts.
Oh. Yeah, I have some of those.
Wearing pants that say juicy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like wearing a short skirt with fishnets that barely cover your butt. Like, I guess that would be the female equivalent. Because if a guy did that, people tend to be like, hey, what are you doing?
Like, if a guy shows up with no shirt, like, hey, what are you doing?
Not wearing... Oh, the female equivalent would be not wearing underwear with a dress.
Girls don't do that.
Actually, that doesn't even work either. What's something that women can do in public that that's taboo for men to do?
I don't know. You already had shots fired at women earlier in the
Hold hands.
interview. Yeah, yeah,
It's
probably.
more socially accepted. Like most more people, it's more. It's usually it's less taboo for women to hold hands in public than men.
I was just thinking like growl or like bark.
Well, I think
people.
that's for both men, women, and others.
I don't know. People don't seem to judge me whenever I do it, and I'm a man, so you know.
When you bark in public.
Yeah. It's like
they probably see you out of your truck and you're like, oh, he's homeless.
Like he's just tweaking off the perks or something.
What is this crackhead over here?
You never just like get down on all fours and let out a howl, dude.
I'm not a child anymore.
No. Doyle, what do you have against British people?
I don't have anything against British people. I have some issues with the English government. But I do not have any issue with British people.
Does Doyle ever speak in third person?
Quite often. But that's probably the tism.
Do you think that like helps you get chicks or like? Because like I heard like chicks dig like whenever guys speak in third person.
I don't think speaking in third person.
Like oh yes,
get girls.
The Doyle
unless it's being
likes
funny.
your face.
Yeah, no, I don't do it like that. It'll be like someone will say something weird I did, and I'll be like, well, Doyle does weird things.
Yeah.
It's usually wrapped up in a joke. Like it's not.
Okay. If at this very moment you had to decide how many more questions you wanted to answer in this interview, how many would it be?
6.
5. Take it or leave it.
5. I'll take it.
Fork or spoon?
For what activity?
Fork or spoon?
For what activity?
Life.
Fuck. Big spoon or small spoon? What material is the fork made out of?
Fork material. I don't know. Fucking like iron.
Well, an iron fork?
Yeah.
What's the spoon made out of?
Plutonium.
Okay, I'm going with the fork.
Alright, that solves that.
That's because the spoon is imaginary.
Can you blow a spit bubble?
Yes. If the follow-up question is do it, I'm not going to.
Will you demonstrate for the viewers?
Oh, I can see it.
They can hear it.
Okay,
they can imagine it. That was disgusting. That was just gross. I mean, like, like, I saw it, like, kind of pop, and then, like, it sucked back up your nose, and, like, yeah, it was just very guttural expression. Okay, question 3 out of 5. Keep in mind, you got 2 more here.
Okay, we're in the long haul.
Is your room a mess right now?
No.
Are you gonna fucking answer truthfully? Answer that question truthfully. This is your last chance.
It's middle.
Oh my god. Okay.
Is your room dirty right now?
The truck? I mean, yeah, I had that little chocolate wrapper that I left in there. I was gonna give you the case to it that they came with. That was the last one. Okay, Doyle, you're at a barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Your cousin Mildred falls over while you're playing cornhole and does not get up. What do you do?
My cousin Mildred?
Correct. Mildred.
And I'm playing cornhole.
Mildred is playing cornhole.
Mildred's playing cornhole.
They fall over. Cornhole? No.
What am I doing?
Presenting.
Okay, I'm presenting.
Being present.
Okay.
You are attending.
I'm just at this barbecue. Mildred's playing cornhole. I'm not playing cornhole.
You are attending a barbecue.
And Mildred's playing cornhole and has a heart attack.
Well, they fall over and do not get up. What do you do?
I guess I walk over there and I go, Mildred, what the hell are you doing?
Then you like make a really funny joke, right?
This is what you get for playing cornhole.
Yeah. she's like starts flailing, and you just like keep going with the jokes.
I'm like, you got possessed. You're being possessed by demons because you were playing cornhole.
Okay.
Cornhole is just a distraction for the demons to get in you.
Doyle, somebody spits on you while talking, and they don't notice it that they spit on you while talking. How do you react?
Where did they spit on me?
Oh, man.
Oh.
You talking like your private parts or something?
Where did they spit on me?
I think it has to touch skin.
I don't care where. I have a different answer for every part of my body.
Like it touches your arm, and you're not wearing sleeves.
I would probably start digging my toes into the bottom of my shoe and let them keep talking.
All right, it's like on your face.
I'd probably wipe it away and be like, I'm sorry, this conversation's over.
Wow, what an asshole, guys. Wow. His true colors come through.
Spit on me.
Can't even get spit on. Can't even get spit on.
If you're going to spit on me, at least buy me dinner first.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's not where this question is going. Okay. What is this, like the last question or something?
I believe so. I believe this is the last question.
Well, since you're not going to answer what state your room is in right now. Oh, man. Should we make it a good one?
No, ask me if my room's clean right now.
Ask me the question.
Go ahead, ask me the question. See what happens.
Okay, Doyle. When was the last time you pissed the bed? Be real.
Last time I pissed my bed?
When was the last time you pissed the bed? Don't act like you don't remember. We
No.
all know. Oh, okay.
No.
He's like, oh,
I'm
man.
trying.
That was so long ago, guys. That was so long ago. And I'm like looking over at the fucking like absorbent pad like under his sheet right there.
What?
Bro, the fucking pack of diapers sitting in the closet.
Oh, 2016.
Yeah.
2016. Yeah.
Is that it?
2016.
Are there events that transpired led to this, or like?
That particular night. Was it that night? No, it wasn't 2016. It was 2023. No.
It's 2024.
Well, I have to remember if if it was me peeing myself or did I pee on something.
Either way, you
I've
got
lived a
covered
pretty,
in piss.
Pretty wild life. The last time I pissed myself. No, 2016. I'm gonna say wholeheartedly it was 2016.
Were there events that occurred that you recall?
For the 2016
Unto
one?
the pissing of thine self, betwixt thy sheets.
I wasn't even in my bed when it happened. I was on the mattress on the floor next to my bed. It was a separate mattress. It felt like my entire world was collapsing, and I tried to just take everything away. I think I went through. I downed like 2 bottles of Prozac and a handle of gin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woke up in a puddle of my piss and vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pissing it was probably warm though, right?
No, when I woke up, it was cold.
Oh. Like damn.
The one thing I will say is, my girlfriend at the time, she came over and she found me and she helped me clean up after myself. Luckily, the vomit was so old that it coagulated, like congealed, so it just took like it took a dustpan and it just like slid all onto the skin. Like it was a pancake and just threw it in the trash.
Oh my god. Bro.
Things were wild.
Why did you describe that so well? Like, why can I picture that so well? Wow. Huh. Okay. Nice. And some cold piss.
Yeah.
I pissed cold.
Well, I clearly had been lying in it long enough that it went cold.
I piss cold. My heart is black on side. My piss comes out freezing cold. I vomit pancakes.
I vomit pancakes and my piss is
Well, folks, that was the Doyle interview.
Tales from the Doghouse.
Are you going to watch this?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm
Reminisce.
starting a podcast next year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it going to be titled?
Tales from the Doghouse.
Bonus question. That was your one bonus question. All right. Do you have anything to leave the viewers with? Don't do drugs. It's a good one.
Only commit the sins you can live with.
And come back next time, folks.